They are against it. The Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What the? Get me off the stage. He's saying, get me off the stage. No, he has no idea. But look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms, if you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
A lot of the smartest people in crypto are moving their businesses out of the U.S. because they're scared of the U.S.'s regulations.
Because of the hostility.
Correct.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Correct. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
Yes, sir.
Go get him. Listen, ETH is a lot higher in the last 24 hours on speculation that the ETF is coming. Step back a little bit. What seems to have happened is, Donald Trump 2 weeks ago got on stage and said, "I'm the crypto president." And it was on the same day that Joe Biden had threatened to veto a relatively obscure piece of legislation that the SEC had put through, a rule on accounting, saying that crypto assets in custody needed to be held on balance sheet. And that kind of set off a firestorm where it almost became a purity test, like Republican, good for crypto, Democrat, bad for crypto. And I think the Democratic regime woke up and saying, this is crazy, right? There are more crypto owners in America than there are dog owners, right? We have 85 million people that own crypto, and a lot of them are single issue voters. And the Democrats looked like they were the party against dogs. And so you've seen a pretty dramatic change. First of all, you had 9 senators cross the aisle and 21 congressmen on this AB 21. And so that's passed, the repeal of that. And it'll go to Biden's desk. We'll see if he vetoes it or not. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, what seems to be a complete about face with the SEC on the ETF. And, listen, I don't have any inside info other than talking to people in the markets, and we'll see. We do have an ETF in registrations. I got to be a little bit careful. But assuming, the market is right, and the market's usually pretty smart, it feels like someone at the Biden White House made a call and said, guys, we can't be the party against crypto anymore. And I think that's a seismic shift, because if those things actually happen, prices are going to be much higher than here.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, you can't make this stuff up. Now all of a sudden, politics is in full play when it comes to this Ethereum ETF. Trump took over crypto. Now Biden makes a secret call to Gary Gensler. Get it pushed through. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. When I tell you these are geniuses, evil genius, but it's definitely a genius move. Whether it gets approved or not, we know once everything gets pushed in the mainstream media, you're getting more and more people to listen and see that these digital assets are valid. But if this Ethereum spot ETF gets approved, guys, we know the emerging markets are ready to flip the switch. And then it also means that a distraction and a crisis is sooner than we thought. The global economy is holding on by threads. And it doesn't matter whether they cut rates or not, the damage has already been done. Remember, they printed 80% of all currency within 2 years. That's why we received all this global inflation and raised rates the fastest in history in order to fight the inflation that they caused. Yes, again, you can't make this stuff up. But the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we know all this technology. That's why you keep hearing AI every single day. They are driving it home. Because the robots, algorithms, and drones are about to take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep are about to go inside the metaverse. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, It's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
So you're speculating that a phone call was made from the White House to Gary Gensler's office, and Gary Gensler, who has, for the most part, as you know, been relatively opposed to these instruments. In fact, he was opposed to the Bitcoin ETF until a court told him otherwise. You think he's going to do it, quote unquote, voluntarily or maybe pseudo-voluntarily if, in fact, the president's telling him otherwise?
I am sensing a widespread shift amongst Democrats that don't want to let crypto be a big election issue. Right? The crypto super PACs have raised over $150 million, and they've targeted Sherrod Brown and John Tester, elections that matter dearly to Democrats in swing states, in vulnerable Senate seats. Crypto should be bipartisan. And quite frankly, for our industry to do well, it needs to be bipartisan. And it has been really Elizabeth Warren and a small group of people that has kind of held the Democrats hostage on this. And what the Senate broadly said, Chuck Schumer, being the Senate leader who voted to overturn against Elizabeth, was enough. Like, this is becoming dumb. And so I'm sensing a real shift.
You talk about you talk about the industry doing this as if they're separate from you. You've been a big supporter over the years of President Biden. I don't know if you still are, but how much are you part of this effort?
Listen, I've had a real view that this needs to be bipartisan. So I have been meeting with Democrats and Republicans equally, trying to both educate. On the Democratic side, I've been trying to talk sense. I was like, guys, this could be the biggest own goal of the last 6 years. There is no reason to make crypto, which is a technology, a political issue. And I think hopefully that message is starting to resonate.
Yeah, no, it's a complete 180 from the SEC. The reason we were so bearish at 25% odds before yesterday was that everybody in the process was pretty bearish. They were caught flat-footed by this when Trading and Markets reached out and said, hey, can you update your filings? And the sort of the rumor and the sort of tea leaves is that this was a political shift. The Democrats don't really want to see Trump owning this crypto issue, and he started to. And now it's an election issue. They don't want to lose votes. So the ETF kind of got sort of sucked into this situation, and it looks like they're, again, going to fast track this. Unclear exactly when it will launch. The 19B4s I heard were due back this morning at 10 a.m. Those could be approved by Thursday, or they have to be at least approved. That's the deadline. And then the S1s, as you mentioned earlier, could take a little while longer. We're unclear whether this will be an all-hands-on-deck fire drill from the SEC, or if corporate finance, which is the division that approves S1s, will take their time. Normally, this all happens weeks before. So this was clearly like them turning on a dime and shifting from denial to approval, and that's where we're at. So our odds immediately went to 75%. We're leaving a little room for we're not going to 100, obviously, just because this is unusual and seemingly a political issue. So you can't go to 100%, in my opinion.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar.
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.